All right, Matt, how are you? Happy Friday.
Nicholas, happy Friday. It's been a week, pal.
I know. Tell me about it. How was your Halloween?
It was great. My Halloweens are pretty consistent now that my kids are older. We sit in the driveway with a couple neighbors. We have a couple cocktails and give little kids candy. It's fun. We have a nice neighborhood where there's a lot of kids that come through.
Oh,
How
wow.
about yours? How are the two? How are the kids?
I got the beer part, but didn't get to sit on a driveway. I had a long walk walking with the kids, so
Yeah,
obviously it was. But it was cool though. It was like with neighbor and everything. So it was
no,
fun.
it's fun. It's fun.
All right, well, why don't we start the week? So for today, we have four interesting topics about video commerce, live stream shopping. The first one we want to talk about is about the new NBC gift box. There's a lot of gift box, really interesting things going on in the space. The next story is about Lego launching their live stream shopping, and we're gonna have a quick snippet of it. Pretty interesting. The third story is about what more and the notion that AI and video and product descriptions is coming and it's coming fast, really fast. Anyway, and the last story is such a, I will say, not it's not a really fun story. It's really about refund groups that's happening and some of the fraud out there. So stay tuned and let's get started. Here you go. All right, everyone. This is Nico, the co-founder of eStreamly, the company that gets you on live stream and video commerce on your site, web, social media, email, SMS, wherever you are. The video is shoppable. So excited to be here with my great friend from Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. Matt, why don't you kickstart the conversation and tell us why we're here today?
Nicholas, thank you very much, and thank you for tuning in or listening on your pod on our all the multiple streams of podcast run. This is called the VCommerce podcast. This is basically talking about video commerce, the evolution of DRTV, direct response television, and infomercials. Graduated to QVC and HSN, 24 hours, 7-day a week, home shopping networks, and now it is everywhere. You shop on your all through the internet. You shop on your social media pages, through your favorite branded retail sites. And now video is the major player and the big story with all of e-commerce. So Nicholas and I have been working in this space for a long time. This show covers our top 4 favorite topics of the week. Hopefully you learn something, hopefully have fun with us, and get involved in video commerce. So one of the things, Nicholas, that I wanted to talk about this week, and I actually got the information from you, was that NBC launched just this week a gift box, which is kind of ironic because my partners and I have been talking about FabFitFun lately, and this gift box dynamic has been a very, I think, a seasoned dynamic of promoting brands within inside of a gift box. So basically, you order the gift box, and some sites like FabFitFun have subscriptions. So once a quarter, you get a different box with different product in it. You could have a beauty box, you could have a fashion box, you could have a DIY box or a gardening box, all that kind of thing. A lot of products are put into that box, and then if you're under this subscription dynamic, you pay for it on a quarterly basis. So some companies have that subscription dynamic. Some companies don't. It worked really well at QVC for a lot of years and at HSN. At QVC, they had a program called TILI, Try It, Love It. And they would put 4 or 5 different products inside of a box. They would normally be like miniature size products, 1 or 2 ounce kind of try me products, lipsticks or hand creams or whatever the dynamic would be. And it was very, very successful. So now that NBC's involved with doing this, I'm wondering if there's going to be a great resurgence of this marketing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? I always question like, is there real? I mean, there's probably a business model, right? It's been on for years, but like I can see my wife is having one of those box, and she's getting like a beauty box every, I think it's Oopsie or something. She's getting a like every month, but I don't recall ever having her buying any of those samples she's getting from those box. So I'm curious to see like what's the economic incentive for those merchants that are in there. I don't, because it's pretty inexpensive to get those boxes, and so I don't know if the merchant has to give the sample for free, or if they actually the box provider are actually buying. But I don't know. I just found it like quite interesting, those dynamics. I for sure, my wife love it. So
to answer your question, it's a little bit above cost. So the vendor's not making a whole lot of money. It's about marketing. It's about getting your brand inside that gift box, and how popular that dynamic, that vendor is, will be how many faces and how many people see your product. So it's purely a marketing play. They're not making revenue through it. You're bunched in, like if it's a beauty box, you're bunched in with a lot of other beauty brands. The NBC story that we looked at this week, it's a beauty box, and a lot of those vendors in their beauty box we know from QVC and HSN. I think it's a great dynamic. Now, in my world, it faded a little bit over the last few years. I don't know if the customer got tired of it, or the vendors didn't have the miniature sizes to more or less donate for the boxes. It's kind of a hard thing to corral in some situations. I mentioned FabFitFun. That's a really big brand that's been doing it for years. They do it very, very successfully. So the NBC getting involved in it, I love. We've talked about it before, the whole steals and deals dynamic. All the national TV networks do a program like that: NBC, CBS, ABC, even Fox and other networks. So it's a smart dynamic where they rifle through, 4 or 5 products in 2 or 3 minutes. This is going to be part of NBC's Today Show steals and deals. They do each morning, or I think once a week, actually. So I love it. I think it's a great marketing play. There's not much demonstrable things. I'm not sure how you can get involved with it from the live streaming aspect, other than showing the customer everything that comes in the box.
Yeah, I think when you think about boxes, subscription boxes, right? I think during the pandemic it was hugely successful. Post-pandemic, a lot of those subscription boxes faded away. I think it's a tough business, honestly. Like, if you don't have like a super engaged community, or if you're doing something very unique to foster that community and drive, like, max out the value out of those boxes, I think it's pretty hard to maintain a profitable business on those boxes. But hey, there are brands that are making a kill out of it. So, but some are challenged.
And I would say, like, if it's an eye product or a lip product or something simply demonstrable from the customer, and she loves it, then she's going to be promoted to buy the larger product. And I think that's the idea of it, to just get a sampling of what this does, and do I like it? Do I like the feel of it? If we're talking about beauty. And then hoping the customer buys the full size, where the vendor makes the profit, But I think it's fun. I think it's a fun dynamic. Like, I think the popularity of it faded a little bit in 2020, 2021 over COVID, maybe. But maybe I'm thinking that it's making a comeback.
Yeah. Thinking of fun, I came across this company the other day, Fun Delivered, and they will ship you a box of unclaimed packages, and they ship you once a month, and it's really really cool. A lot of people love it. It's two girls based in Florida that are doing this, and I think they've been hugely successful, and launched this like out of like a WordPress website, and people love it and they're crushing it. So yes, boxes is not dying, and there's like some really cool stuff and cool ideas coming back.
Wait a minute. This website, like, you don't know what you're getting?
Well, you don't know what you're getting, right? So you're getting like basically it's return packages, and you get 7 of them, and then they ship you 1 box of it every month. And it's basically discovery. It's the same as like people auctioning for a garage sale, where the garage door is locked, right? So you and you put like $500, and then you open, and then sometimes you get a car underneath, or sometimes you just get paper. So I guess that's the concept.
That is fun. That's a lot of fun.
That is really fun. Yeah.
I mean, that is the ultimate in discovery. And if I assume it's not very expensive, the boxes.
Well, the box can be, it's not like cheap, right? It's like $100 the box for like 1 box for 7 stuff, and then I think if you only want 5, it's like $75, and then they have like another one that's a little cheaper. But still, I mean, like, you don't know what you're getting. Like sometimes it's an iPhone, sometimes it's, you know, so it's really.
No, the discovery dynamic. We talked about sports collectibles coming into the video commerce space, and they open up, live breakers. They'll open up those packs live on camera. There is some kind of dynamic about the excitement of not knowing that this video commerce customer is definitely into. I applaud those two girls. That's a cool concept.
Yeah, and they're like creating content like crazy, and their content is awesome. And it's like they like literally that, you see them opening and see what's going on, and so their content goes viral all the time. And yeah, it's like literally two young women that just do this amazing stuff. I think they were in the medical field before, so nothing to do with that, and they're just having so much fun, and they're really cool.
I love it. I love it.
Special shout out then, I guess. Anyway, well, the second story of the week, speaking of things fun and everything, is Lego. And we talked about briefly about them. They just starting to do a live stream. And I love that idea. Let me mute this out. I can't actually. Oh, there you go. I can. But basically is Lego doing a live stream. And then at the time you're looking at it, you can actually add to bag and check out. I think it's pretty cool because, obviously Lego is, I mean, as a kid, I was playing Lego. My kids play Lego. I don't know if you, Matt, were playing Lego.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing I will say, though, that is kind of, I won't say surprising, it's pretty well produced, right? It's, as you can see, you've got a 1 or 2 camera with angles. So we have a fixed camera. We have someone that's moving the stuff around. This is on a special set and everything. So, I mean, it's not, I don't, this is not like, I don't know if that's the real TikTok style or this social commerce style. It's really like on stage conversation, but it's a pretty cool dynamic for a show like that.
I think it's great. So you're going after obviously the aficionados, the adults that collect Legos. My 18-year-old's been doing that since he was a little kid, and it's like a stress relief thing for him. So and many adults do Legos, like the real complicated, larger, Star Wars sets or whatever the dynamic is, and they use it as stress relief. They use it as a break in their daily routine, all that kind of thing. So there's empathy with it, involved with it. It's discovery, as you said, and creativity, and a little bit of engineering. What did we talk about? It's probably been a couple months ago. Didn't we talk about Radio Flyer getting involved in video commerce as well? Did we talk about Radio Flyer? That's the red wagon, like that goes back to the 20s. I know we talked about it in some capacity.
I can't remember that, but probably. I mean, like we've been talking about a lot of things. So
yeah, like those kind of old school toys, like they're making a resurgence to as these adults get older, like you and I, coming back to our childhood, all that type of thing. I love that Lego's involved in live commerce. I mean, it just makes so much sense. Now, to your point, do they have to be so produced? Those two guys standing behind a table seem boring. I'd rather have them sitting Indian style, on a rug and literally working the Legos.
But you can see that they shooted the video in a vertical format, right? So on an horizontal format, sorry. So not vertical. So really, I think it's really for a certain type of audience, just because of that. I mean, it's, So I just found that it was interesting, like the way they shooted the thing, like the whole production and everything. So I definitely think adult plus type audience.
I know. And Nicolas, you've been saying this for a long time, that you don't have to be, professionally produced to be in live commerce. I went down a rabbit's hole today looking at some beauty TikTok shop production, and highly produced, high money with multiple cameras, lights, producers right behind the set.
Yeah.
And we kind of preach it's not really necessary in this live streaming dynamic.
I mean, at the end of the day, the video quality is important, right? So the more production you have, the better video production quality you have. But don't overplay the production and don't play the interactivity. I think what you need to nail down first, in my point of view, is really that interactivity aspect and bringing on the users and all the people that are on the chat back to you and have them participate. And then once you have that dynamic going on, then you can scale on production. Because at the end of the day, good production will make, people more hooked to the content. Like, I think we all prefer to watch something a little bit more produced than something that is kind of scrappy and dark, and the light is not good and everything. But I do think that the first dynamic you need to have really good control over is how do you engage and how do you make the content like something where people are just tuning in and having so much fun because they are part of something,
Well, isn't it authenticity? It's the authenticity. So if you're spending the money on production and not being authentic to your customer or to who you are as a brand, then you're missing out. But if you're being authentic, I guess to your point, and if you want to spend that money on the high-end production side, go for it. It just seems like I come from the high-end production side, and sometimes I feel like it's not really, in some scenarios, it's not really necessary, and authenticity often plays a great role. And when QVC like seemingly backs off, or you see people Skyping product, there's a genuineness to it, and you see someone in their own kitchen or in their own living room, and they're showing the product, demonstrating the product. I think that's endearing to an extent, and it both sides work. I'm not saying one side doesn't work over the other, but the cost of doing the production, if that stops you from doing live streaming, then don't do it. Do it old school and do it low end and just be original.
Yeah. So the next story is we're talking about high production is definitely a not so high production cost. It's a low production cost, but it's AI and product URL. So look at this video. So this company, they put together this software where you take a Shopify URL, you dump it into their AI, and the AI is generating a video out of it that you can use for your product page and all that. I mean, the video is still AI-ish looking, but hey, it's kind of crazy. Here's another shoot of the same video. It's getting there, Matt. I think you soon will be out of job. I'm sorry to tell you that.
I mean, I didn't think it'd be coming like this, but how I feel about AI. It's computers taking over and monsters and all that kind of thing.
Crazy.
Now, is this truly like when they go close up on that jacket that you're showing on our video? If you're watching through LinkedIn, is that's an AI generated jacket that they're selling? It's not.
Well,
the jacket.
The thing is, like, they're taking the product page has that picture,
the close-up picture,
the close-up picture of that person, so the model and all that. And then what they're doing is like they're taking that, synthesizing this as an avatar, and now making that avatar move around so it generates a video out of it. So all you're saying is that the picture being transformed into a movie, and now because it's a movie, to a film, I'll say, because it's a film, you can see some of the different angles, you can see the jacket moving, and then, I mean, it still look AI-ish, as I was saying, but
yeah, it does.
It's pretty close.
So that model was paid to wear that jacket, and she took a still shot, and then they made it to be a motion picture. Okay. Yeah.
So crazy, right? I mean,
I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but again,
I know
I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of all this AI. It's like a wave, coming. You see it building and building and building. We can't avoid it, right? And I think we all have to learn how to adapt to it.
Absolutely. Well, the last story I want to bring, it's not as such of a fun story as we had for the last 3 stories. It's about what's happening with the surge of organized fraud in the e-com. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because, first of all, shout out to the information for reporting on this. The article is pretty amazing. So for the one that don't know it, it's a really interesting platform. So really encourage, and Kaya, I think she's reporting on everything content creation. She has a fantastic newsletter. I highly encourage anyone that's curious about the creator economy to just ping in and follow her in a newsletter. But anyway, so bottom line, what she's reporting about is this notion of groups that started to get organized on Telegram and some other social media platform, where they are looking at e-com brands and retailers that have, loose return policies. And basically what those guys are doing is like they are doing a group buying. So altogether they are focusing on one brand and they're going to whole buy a certain product from that brand. And then once they bought those brands, then they all return the product, but they return it empty. But the brand has not had the, they play on the fact that those brands are not checking the product before they're getting it, and they're doing the refund in terms of cash. And so some of those brands have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by folks like doing that. And what the article is studying about is really the notion that it all kind of started with those influencers, those financial influencers that you can find on TikTok, X, and all that. And as the competition is starting to get more and more, like trying to get tips, you can start to see some folks saying, like, hey, get those pair of shoes from, maybe the Nike shoes that you get directly from Facebook Marketplace, buy the same shoes brand new from Nike, and then swap the old shoes and return the whole pack of the whole shoes, and then you get the price of the Nike brand new for the discounted price that you would get on the marketplace. So there have been seeing more and more of those content happening on social media, and obviously, people organizing and doing group of fraud. It's pretty painful when you think about it, right? I mean, it's not that the e-commerce world is a hugely profitable, where everyone is like driving in Bentley and flying like a private jet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of I feel a little sad about this story, honestly.
It's disappointing. I've said before, like the bad guys are smarter sometimes than the good guys. It's so easy to commit fraud in this e-com space. It's horrible, and it costs the vendor so much money with returns. We've talked about it. We probably talk about it once a month on this VCommerce podcast. Like it's such a thing. Amazon doesn't even, in some situations, ask the customer to return the product. They say, just keep it and we'll send you a new one, or we'll send you the right color if the wrong color was sent, or something like that. Like the processing of dealing with returns on the vendor side is so high, some vendors aren't even dealing with it. So in this situation, they're banking on the vendor not opening the box, not putting it back in stock. It's just horrible. I hope they're all found guilty and thrown in jail for fraud, because that's what it is. And once it goes through the mail, that's federal. That's a major federal fraud, dynamic. So it's disappointing that it's happening in the e-com space. It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And every vendor has to deal with it.
If you think about this, like I think I mentioned that before in the pod, is there was a guy that I saw on a trade show. He was the VP of product for PayPal, I think, if I'm correct and remember properly. The guy was saying that at the end of the year, globally, in terms of fraud, from a credit card perspective, we were already looking at $8 trillion global fraud globally. So from an e-commerce standpoint, it's a massive number. It's people are you've got all kind of fraud already. Like playing with these return thing is really just adding more strain on those e-com and those retail.
I know, and e-com's not slowing down. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. So these problems are only going to get bigger and bigger. I'm not sure what the solution is, but it's tough. Everyone's got to deal with it. It's hard.
All right. Well, why don't we start with a little shout out for maybe any shout out on your side, Matt?
Yeah. So this weekend, Grammy award-winning singer John Legend debuts his new skincare line on QVC, which should be pretty interesting. They've had Scarlett Johansson with the outset, Miranda Kerr with Cora. She launched last week or 2 weeks ago, and now John Legend. So he's got a few different SKUs on QVC.com. It debuts this Saturday morning, I think, and Saturday Morning Q. It's so interesting that these celebrities are getting back into it. I think celebrities got into the e-com and v-com space over COVID when no one was working, and probably during the writer's strike, the Hollywood writer's strike, and now they're some of them are continuing with it through e-com and v-com. So I'm finding that interesting, but I will give a real special shout out today, Philosophy has their fourth quarter fragrance Today's Special Value at QVC. It's their biggest Today's Special Value of the year. If you're a core QVC customer, a core Philosophy customer, Philosophy's been on the channel for 20 plus years. This is their big TSV of the year. So go to QVC.com today and check out Philosophy's fragrance Today's Special Value.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, for saying that. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We are here every Friday. Obviously, we were not there last Friday, if you noticed. Sorry for that. Change a lot of travel and everything going on at the moment. But we will be there next Friday on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on the live e-commerce podcast. Obviously, we are also super interested if you know anyone that could come on the pod. If you're trying to pitch your company, there's no need. We don't need that. But if you're like someone that has some really super cool stuff to talk about related to e-com, please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you, or the VComs preferably. So thanks everyone for being here. Please follow, share, comment, tell us what you think about the show and where we can, and if you know how to reach out to us. See you, Matt. And
bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
All right.